Hello, and welcome to Ben's Eagle Court of Honor. Before we begin, Color Guard, please lead us in the presentation of colors. Audience, please rise. Troop attention. Scout salute. Color Guard, forward march. Color Guard, halt. Color Guard, cross the colors. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Scout sign. Please join me in reciting the Scout Oath.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to guide my country, to obey Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
2. Please post the flag of the United States of America. Please post the flag of Troop 966. Color Guard, honor your colors. You may be dismissed. Mrs. Boone, as our troop chaplain, please lead us in the invocation. Am I supposed to? Oh, audience, please be seated.
I was like, you can have him stand there. All right. If you could all please take a moment and bow with me. God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as a family, friends, and leaders, and fellow scouts on this significant day in the life of Ben Levine. Today is a celebration of a journey full of challenges, friendship, struggles, and occasionally, a little fun. Today, we all think of the merit badges that he's earned along the way, the oaths he's committed to, and the character that Ben has developed. Along with the service to our community, Ben has worked so hard to bring about, and the focus he has had and been diligently with. Little by little, month by month, and year by year, we have faithfully celebrated his commitment and his hard work. We ask for your blessing on Ben and his family who have supported him and encouraged him, along with his fellow scouts along the way. Bless the scout leaders of Troop 966 and all of those who are here physically or in spirit. Continue to walk with Ben as he takes these next steps in becoming the scout and the man you desire him to be. Amen.
Thank you, Mrs. Boone. Presentation of the Eagle Award is an important and serious matter for the scout before us today. The award is the climax of the scouting efforts for many years. Let me point out that the attainment of this award is made possible through the assistance of others with Ben tonight. His scoutmaster, troop leaders, former leaders, his fellow scouts, parents, family, friends, and the members of his local community have all played a part in his success. This is an occasion for pride and joy, as well as a time for reflection. The Eagle rank is the highest rank that a scout is offered. Benjamin has distinguished himself through his continued active service in scouting. This is a trained practice in his leadership abilities and is marked by his character gained through understanding in the citizenship and duty to others. It is important that we understand the meaning of the Eagle Award. I would like to call for Ben's former scout leaders, Shane Kessler, Ricky Hoybach, and Daniel Eno. Please come forward.
The appeal of the majestic eagle has been felt by individuals from prehistoric times to the present day. To the Egyptians, the eagle was the messenger to the gods and the sun, a symbol of eternal life. To the Romans, he was the carrier of Jupiter's thunderbolts and a sign of power. To the American Indians, he stood as the incentive to valor and the pledge of victory. For us today, the eagle is a living symbol of courageous and freedom-aspiring Americans. When the badge of rank for Eagle Scout was designed in 1912, a small silver eagle was suspended from a tricolor ribbon of red, white, and blue. It remains so today.
The foremost responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to live with honor. To an Eagle Scout, honor is the foundation of character. He knows that a scout is trustworthy, is the first point of the scout law for a good reason. An Eagle Scout lives honorably, not only because of the infinite importance of doing so to himself, but because of the vital significance of the example he sets for other scouts. Living honorably reflects credit upon his home, his troop, and his community. May the white of the Eagle Badge remind you always to live with honor.
The second responsibility of the Eagle Scout is loyalty. A scout is true to his family, leaders, friends, school, and nation, and unfortunately sometimes his football team. His loyalty to his troop and his brother scouts make him a pitch in and carry his share of the load. All of these help build loyalty, which means devotion to the community, to country, to one's ideas, and to humanity. May the blue of the Eagle Badge always inspire your loyalty.
The third responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to be courageous. Courage is a quality by which people measure in themselves and others. To a scout, bravery means not only the courage to face physical danger, but the determination to stand up for his rights and the rights of others. He looks forward to each day seeking his share of the world's work. May the red of the Eagle Badge always remind you of courage.
The fourth responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to be cheerful. To remind the Eagle Scout to always wear a smile, the red, white, and blue ribbon is attached to the scroll of the second-class Scout, which has its ends turned up in a smile.
The final responsibility of the Eagle Scout is service. The Eagle extends a helping hand to those who toil up the Scouting Trail, just as others helped him in his climb to Eagle. The performance of the daily good turn takes on a new meaning when he enters his adult life of continuing good service to others. The Eagle stands as the protector of the weak and helpless. He aids and comforts the unfortunate and the oppressed. He upholds the rights of others while defending his own. He is always prepared to put forth his best.
Thank you. Would Benjamin Levine please come forward? Mr. Mendred, would you please join Benjamin and administer the Eagle Charge?
You just get to stand there and look pretty for a while. Ben, I have the honor to give you the Eagle Charge on this occasion of the elevation to your highest rank in scouting. Scouting in all nations constitutes one of the most wholesome and significant movements in the world's history, and you have been counted worthy of this high rank in the Boy Scouts of America. All who know you rejoice in your achievement. The requirements were demanding but fair, necessitating perseverance and ability. Your position, as you well know, is one of honor and responsibility. You are a marked man. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation to your fellow Scouts. Your conduct along the trail has been excellent. You have consistently rededicated yourself to the principles of Scouting. Now, be a beacon to other Scouts. Inspire in them the fire and drive that inspired you. I charge you to live the oath and law, not just during meetings and on campouts, but in your daily life. Your responsibility goes beyond your fellow Scouts to your country. America has many fine things to offer you and the generations after you, but these things depend, for the most part, on the qualities instilled in its citizens. As an Eagle Scout, you become an example in your community. Be a leader, but one who inspires. Be a guide, especially on the path of justice and truth. Be a voice, especially for those who aren't heard. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their skills and ability to the common good. Build America on the sound foundations of clean living, honest work, and unselfish citizenship. You will leave behind you a record of which you may be justly proud. Ben Levine, I charge you to enter this Eagle Scout Fellowship holding before you the ideals of honor and service. By repetition of the Eagle Scout promise, before your fellow members, you become an Eagle Scout. Though the words will be similar to those by which you join Scouting, Tonight, that will mean much more than could have meant at any time in the past. When you pledge yourself on your sacred honor, you will be sealing your eternal loyalty to the code of the Eagle Scout with the words which close the Declaration of Independence. Will all the Eagle Scouts present please stand for the reading of the Eagle Scout Oath? Ben, please give the Scout sign and repeat the Eagle Scout Oath after me. I reaffirm my allegiance
I reaffirm my allegiance
to the three promises of the Scout Oath.
to the three promises of the Scout Oath.
I thoughtfully recognize
I thoughtfully recognize
and take upon myself
and take upon myself
the obligations and responsibilities
the obligations and responsibilities
of the rank of Eagle Scout.
of the rank of Eagle Scout.
On my honor,
On my honor,
I will do my best
I will do my best
to make my training an example,
to make my training an example,
my rank and my influence
my rank and my influence
count strongly for better citizenship
count strongly for better citizenship
in my troop,
in my troop,
in my community,
in my community,
and in my contacts with other people.
and in my contacts with other people.
To this, I pledge my sacred honor.
To this, I pledge my sacred honor.
2. Ben, as a representative of the Eagle Scouts of the National Capital Area Council, I welcome you to the lifelong fellowship of Eagle Scouts. Remember that your actions are now a little more conspicuous. People will expect more of you. We know you're up to the challenge. For the rest of your life, you are an Eagle Scout. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Mengers. Mr. Levine has asked Mr. Eno to step out of retirement for a few minutes and serve as Scoutmaster for this portion of the ceremony. Mr. Eno, would you please join us for the Eagle Award presentation?
Before the Eagle Award is bestowed upon you, I'm going to ask your parents to join us. Ben, your mother and your father have been supporters of your scouting journey. As you have just reaffirmed your commitment to the principles of the Scout Oath and Scout Law, I'm going to ask your parents to reaffirm their continued support. Frank and Stephanie, do you agree to continue to guide Benjamin so that he may nurture the character and the leadership qualities that he has learned in scouting?
Yes.
Ben, please remove the miniature Eagle badge from the box and pin it over your mother's heart in recognition of all that she has done for you and of her considerable assistance behind the scenes on your journey to Eagle Scout. Ben, please present your father with a miniature eagle pin. This is a symbol of his contribution to your attainment of this award. Ben, your grandparents have also supported your scouting journey, most notably with shopping trips to REI. Please present each of the grandparents with a grandparent's pin, which they can wear with pride.
The best ones, honestly.
Ben, I understand that you would like to recognize some additional individuals.
Yes, where is my script one? Oh, there you go. Okay. I would like to recognize all of my former Scout leaders Would Mr. Kessler, Mr. Hoybach, and Mr. Eno please come forward once again? Mr. Eno, you want to up here? So
Just over here.
yep. Mr. Kessler, you were my first den leader, and you introduced me to scouting. And you made scouting just enjoyable and yeah. Not good at this. Mr. Hoybach, your continued dedication to scouting has shown me what it means to be a lifelong scout. Thank you for all of the times you've let us use your camp area.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yep. And Mr. Eno, you taught me the laws of Eno, which I will continue to use in the future. Thanks, I forgot.
Congratulations.
That is all. Thank you for being leaders.
Ben, your achievement was first recognized at the Troop Court of Honor in March. At that Court of Honor, you received your rank patch and a neckerchief. Today, we will add to that. First, we present your Eagle Medal, which you can continue to wear at formal scouting events for the rest of your life. You will see that attached to the ribbon, there is a silver eagle palm. This palm represents the completion of at least 36 merit badges, 21 to reach eagle, 5 for a bronze palm, 5 more for a gold palm, and 5 more for the silver palm. This emblem of recognition for advancement is the last one to be earned. If an Eagle Scout completes more merit badges, more bronze, gold, and silver palms can be earned. Mr. and Mrs. Levine, would you please pin the Eagle Medal over Ben's heart?
Ben's gonna move it later to where he wants it.
Is the certificate in here?
Certificate's the big frame thing.
Oh, in the paper.
Easy to unwrap.
I now present you with this Eagle Scout certificate signed by the Chief Scout Executive and the President of the United States. It reads, "The Boy Scouts of America is proud to award the rank of Eagle Scout to Benjamin Joseph Levine, Troop 966, Sterling, Virginia, in recognition of successful completion of all requirements for Scouting's highest rank." Please join me in congratulating Troop 966 newest Eagle Scout, Ben Levine.
Am I seated or?
Yes, you can be seated. Now let's watch Ben's 10-year scout journey from wolf to eagle in less than 10 minutes. lot. Before Ben makes his closing statement, would anybody else wish to speak?
Well, I'm Ben's mother, for those who don't know, Stephanie. Ben taught me to come prepared for everything as a Boy Scout. So here are my tissues. The other moms in the room will know I have maybe 30 seconds, so I will keep this short. Thank you guys for coming. It really means a lot to come and celebrate Ben's accomplishments. Ben has always lived the Scout oath and law. And one of my first memories of this really was when Frank and I went into a parent-teacher conference. This was 4th grade when Ben had just transitioned from Montessori to elementary. And the teacher sits us down. She was such a great teacher, so sweet. And Ben is really remarkable. We had an incident recently in class where there was another student who was being really rude and disrespectful towards me, the teacher, she was telling us. And she said, Ben just turned around and told this kid, "You're being rude, please cut it out." And, she's like, I got to keep my cool. But inside I was thinking, go, Ben. And that just really exemplifies who Ben is as a human. And I just, thank you for being you, Ben. I am so amazingly proud to be your mother. And, I say to you and all the Scouts, hang on to these amazing experiences you have and bring them back later in life when you need something to pick you up. And know that you have so many more amazing experiences ahead of you. I am so immensely proud of you. Thank you.
Your tissues?
Oh, I think others might need them. I'll take one more.
Would anybody else wish to speak?
I am a modern grandma. First of all, I wanted to thank you all for coming today. Stephanie, okay. I'm Frank's grandmother. No, I'm not. I'm Benjamin's grandmother, and my husband, Bernie, and I have traveled from California to be here today, and we want to thank you for being here. This is supposed to be funny. I want to tell you that I'm not even sure Ben knows this, but I am my father's only child. My father was a real mountain guy, broke horses, hunt, fished, all that sort of stuff. You imagine how excited he was to have one girl. Before I was born, before he had any children, my dad was a Boy Scout leader for 5 years. And that's not very common, to be a Boy Scout leader when you have no son. And so scouting runs deep in your family. Me, I've been a Girl Scout, couldn't be a Boy Scout, and I've been an adult leader and volunteer in Girl Scouts for 30 years. So I figured when we wrote a card to Ben and enclosed a gift, it was upon me to impart some wisdom. I would get the perfect words about the accomplishment and how accomplishments are built on small steps. You don't do it all at once. And how accomplishments are built with the support of other people. And I would write about gratitude of the people who helped you, the people who support you. I would write something perfect about representing who you were as a citizen of the United States and as an Eagle Scout. I struggled for days. I could not come up with the perfect words. I sat there with my pen in hand, I had the perfect card. The card said, what did the card say? You must be very proud of yourself because everyone else is. It's a good card. I've got a good start. Can't come up with the words. So after 3 days of sitting there every evening, I suddenly had this aha. Bernie and I raised Frank. Frank has turned out to be a good man, a good husband, a good father. I cannot say whether he's a good scout leader or not. Other people will have to say. You got a thumbs up, Frank. However, at one time, Frank was a teenage boy. I remember that time. So I just signed the card. We're proud, love, Zempa and Grandma Susan. I enclosed the check, I sealed it up, gave him the card. Now remember, I was planning all these words of wisdom. We're sitting outside, the family. Ben opens the card. The check falls out. He picks up the check, and he goes, oh, thank you. He jumps up, never reads the card, jumps up, hugs us both, and dashes inside to deposit it into the bank.
No, keep it safe from the dogs. Keep it safe from the dogs.
He claims it was to keep it safe from the dogs. I think I saved myself a lot of trouble and never came up with the perfect words.
Would anybody else wish to speak? Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Heidi Lathrop. I am the point of contact for the beneficiary for this project. Recognize many of you for doing a lot of projects here and also on West Maple project. Anyway, Ben was number 7 of our completed Eagle projects in the garden. We just finished our 8th one, and one other member of you is working on our 9th project in the garden. So we have lots of other opportunities available for you Life Scouts. A shameless little plug. But it's been a real pleasure dealing with Benjamin and all of you guys working on this project. And I will open up the garden today. So sometime if you would like to come and inspect it in person, it's not exactly cleaned out, but it's been heavily used all winter to keep our supplies safe. And but we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Would anybody else wish to speak? Mr. Levine.
I'll say something. All the pages. All right. So, first of all, to echo what others have said, thank you everybody for coming today. It means a lot that everybody came out on a Sunday afternoon to recognize Ben's accomplishment. So at Xander's Court of Honor, Daniel came up and gave a very emotional speech. And after the ceremony, Ben came up to me, and I think some of you guys were with me when he did this, and he said, Dad, at my Court of Honor, would you please try to not write a speech that makes you cry? And I think it was Mr. Boone and Mr. Hoybach who were with me at the time, and they both burst into laughter because it's like, that can't be done. And I would tend to agree, though I'm going to try, because if I were to say all the things that you would expect, a dad to say to his kid after earning Eagle, There's no chance I'm going to make it through this. So I'm going to let my wife and my mom and Heidi have said all of those nice things because I just don't think that me crying it out up at the podium is going to be, it's not going to get the point across anymore. So instead, I wanted to talk, I guess, a little bit about kind of what Ben's scouting journey ended up being versus what I thought it was going to be. And so, as my mom said, well, I don't know if she mentioned this part, but I ascended to the rank of Weeblo Scout in Scouts. I finished in 4th grade, as I don't think I didn't get my Arrow of Light. I had a den leader who I didn't view him as particularly enthusiastic. That doesn't mean he wasn't, it just means 10-year-old Frank didn't think he was. And so I kind of didn't do the whole Boy Scout thing. So when it came time for Boy Scouts, I really didn't know what to expect when we were doing this because, you know, I had heard some things along the way. I had heard from friends who had joined Scouts. I'd heard all about like hiking trips and backpacking trips and camping, and I'd heard about Scout camp. I had a friend who worked at a Scout camp. My mom had told me stories about my grandfather who was a Scout leader before he had any kids. But really, when it came to Scouts, I thought that Boy Scouts was going to be kind of the youth hiking and camping club. And so, you know, when it came time to join, I was pretty honest when we were in Cub Scouts, I was pretty honest with Ben about kind of my experience in Weeblos. And I had heard all these great things that were upcoming in Boy Scouts, and so we were pretty honest about the fact, like, let's just keep going to Cub Scouts. We were super thankful that we joined Pack 71 with Shane, because Shane made Cub Scouting super fun, and that's like the most important thing, is to just make it fun so that they keep going. But I, you know, just telling Ben, you know, we got to get to Boy Scouts because there's all these things that I think you're going to really enjoy doing, and he enjoyed the Cub Scouts, but you know, it was really about make it to Boy Scouts. And I'll definitely say that the couple years that we spent with Shane in Pack 71, you know, they built that foundation for what was to come. And around the time that Ben was getting ready to cross into Scouts, I was sitting down with a friend of mine who works in the district. I don't know how many of you know Rob Painter in the adults, but Rob is like a super scouter. And so I sat down with him, and we were talking about Ben joining Scouts, and he says, Frank, do you know what Scouts is really all about? And this is like one of those times where the person's asking you the question, and you know that they know that you don't know the right answer, right? Like, because if I said it's hiking and camping and stuff like that, he's going to be like, actually, you're wrong. So I was just like, no, Rob, tell me what is Scouts all about? And so he said that more than anything, Scouting is youth leadership development. And in his opinion, it is the best youth leadership development program out there. We do a lot of things in the outdoors, but it's all for the purpose of developing our next generation of leaders. And I'm going to be completely honest, this was kind of news to me. I thought this was the youth hiking and backpacking club. So after that, I read up on the program, and I kind of academically in my mind sort of shifted, like, okay, so there's a little bit more to this than just hiking and backpacking and camping. But I'm not sure I was really prepared to watch my kid go through that transition. So there's a quote on leadership, and I don't know where it comes from, but it's all over the internet. And it says, to be a great leader, you must first lead yourself. So watching Ben go from Scout to first class over the course of those first 2 years was really, in my opinion, about watching Ben learn to lead himself. And I'll be honest, he had a little bit of work to do. If memory serves me right, at summer camp, his was the tent that had like the socks that were escaping out the from underneath the tent. I gave him $20 at the beginning of summer camp, and I said, please don't blow this on your first time at the store. And like 25 minutes later, he came back with some plastic whiz thing that he bought in the store that would cost exactly $20. You know, so he had a little bit of work to do there. Yeah, I don't even remember what it was. But so slowly over those couple years, I watched him go, as he worked towards first class, he kind of started to change, right? He was still a messy teenager, and he's still a teenager, so we'll just leave it at that. But his tent was no longer a disaster. He learned to control the urge to blow through all the money that was in his wallet. And he started to take responsibility for more things, and he became more self-sufficient and more self-confident. And as he became more confident, he got more comfortable being put into these leadership roles. So we're going to fast forward to February of 2020. I'm sure you guys all remember that time, the time before masks, the time before COVID. Ben had earned his Life Scout rank, and just a few months earlier, for folks who are not Scouts in the audience, Life is the rank right before Eagle. And it takes about half of the time as far as their scouting journey to do that last rank, typically. So Ben and one of our other Scouts, Grant, had signed up to be the troop guide, and again, for the benefit of folks who aren't well-versed in scouting, the troop guide is the leadership position whose job it is to basically to shepherd and mentor the first-year Scouts, the guys who just crossed over from Cub Scouts. So that was the job that Ben and Grant were going to do in February of 2020. And I think whatever plans they had got completely nuked by March. And I think that group had a total of one in-person meeting. And I'm not even sure it was a real meeting. I think it was an event at the rock climbing gym. So basically, they had to think outside the box, right? They had to think about how to create a virtual scouting program, which wasn't a thing that any of us had thought about prior to, I don't know, March of 2020, to keep a group of new guys interested in Boy Scouts. And so what they did is they created a Wednesday meeting. Our normal meetings are on Mondays, so they created a Wednesday meeting that was exclusively for the younger guys. I heard from a couple of them that they actually prioritized these Wednesday meetings over the Monday meetings because they were getting requirements signed off and having a good time, and they'd play internet games and all sorts of stuff. They planned to camp out with social distancing protocols back before we understood whether or not things spread inside and outside and wind, and then they led them on a 5-mile hike. There was a whole lot of adult support, but in the end, like, they were the ones who were front and center making it happen, and they were 15 years old at the time. And I was super impressed. I was like, wow, I did not see that coming, when Ben joined. So fast forward to last fall, Ben's working on his Eagle project. He spent the better part of the summer working on the design with Mr. Leitert, going over it with Heidi. I think at one point it had an 8-foot exterior grade door in it. There was a lot of modifications that ended up happening. He built an entire CAD model of the shed. Mr. Leitert, who's not here today, but Mr. Leitert spent a whole lot of time with him, showing him how to like the actual framing techniques, and I mean, he had that thing all worked out. But he learned a lot about construction, but he also from working with Heidi, interacting with like a potential customer. And on the day of the project, he showed up with this booklet that had what he called a cut plan, which was a plan for every board that was going to go into the shed, and exactly how it was going to be cut, and dimensions, and the whole 9 yards, so that the guys with the power tools could work with it. So on the day of the build, I just kind of watched, because that was what I was told to do. I was told not to do a whole lot, so I watched. And Ben just managed like the whole operation. He was going back and forth between the guys with the power tools that were cutting things, and the guys who were building things and screwing in nails and hammering, and he was answering questions, he was making little course correction decisions, and in general, he was kind of doing all the things that you would expect a project manager to be doing, and it was pretty cool to watch. And so I started off saying that Ben's journey was different than what I expected, and I guess that's not entirely accurate. He did a lot. 4 summer camps, 3 high adventures, World Jamboree. I don't even know how many nights of camping. I probably could find out in Scout Book if I looked it up, but I don't even know anymore. A lot of miles of hiking, and he definitely checked the box on the hiking and camping adventures. And Ben, I hope that the memory of those outings and all the stuff that you've done sticks with you for the rest of your life. But the part that I really didn't understand until I kind of watched it happen was this leadership and character development. And Ben, I'm confident that you will be able to put the leadership skills that you have learned in Scouts to good use for the rest of your career. So, Ben, I'm proud of the person that you become while earning the Eagle rank. And I hope that you are as proud of yourself, and that you take the time today to really enjoy the celebration, because you've earned it. Thanks.
Would anybody else wish to speak? Ben, the floor is yours.
All right, so
I literally wrote this out, but I am not one for long sentimental speeches, so this one is going to be really short. I would first like to thank my parents for being, for helping me push through the scouting and just being amazing parents. I would also like to thank all of my leaders and mentors and people who have done stuff like that for showing me how to be an effective leader. And lastly, I would like to thank all of you for just attending and being supportive of me in general. That is it. I did say I was going to keep this one quick.
Thank you, Ben. Would the color guard please lead us in the closing ceremony? Audience, please rise. Scout sign, please join me in reciting the Scout law. Please join me in reciting the outdoor code. As an American, I'll do my best to be clean my outdoor manners, be careful of fire, be considerate of the outdoors, be conservation minded. 2, Scout salute. Those not in uniform, please place your right hand over your heart. Color guard, please retire the colors. Color guard, halt. 2. Thank you. This concludes the ceremony. Thank you for coming. We hope that you will join us in the parish hall for barbecue.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yes.
So this is just little housekeeping note. Scouts, there's lots of food. You don't have to rush to the front of the line. In fact, I'd appreciate it if you let our guests, go first. But we've got pulled pork and a bunch of sides.